First story. My daughter demanded that I punish my stepson for bullying her and refused to move on like I told her to. So I grounded my daughter and kicked her out of our Christmas dinner, photos, and presents. Now my daughter has left my house, and my stepson has bullied another kid at school. But my wife still supported him. Now I regret everything for being blind. I 38 have an 11-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. She lives with me full-time and sees her mother on alternate weekends. I've been remarried for a little over a year now to my wife 37F, who has a 13-year-old son from her previous relationship. The kids get along fine most days, at least that's what I thought. Now, my daughter's always been sensitive about her weight. Not that she's obese or anything, but she's solidly built for her age, and it clearly bugs her. Her mother's side of the family has always tiptoed around the subject, and I've had to pick up the pieces more than once when my ex-mother-in-law would make concerned comments. So yeah, I know it's a hot-button issue for her. But she's also not innocent in how she interacts with people. She holds grudges, and when she gets pissed off, she doesn't just withdraw, she gets cold. She'll deliberately ignore people, not respond, and make it painfully obvious that she's angry while refusing to talk about it. That's where we've been for the past few days. It started Thursday. I get home from work, and she's sitting at the table, sulking, just jabbing her fork into her mashed potatoes like they personally offended her. I tried to break the ice, like I always do. Made a comment about something funny that happened at work, and asked how her day was. She gave me a half-arsed nod and went back to poking her plate. I turned the conversation towards my wife and her son, trying to involve everyone. My stepson starts talking about school stuff, and my wife jumps in, talking about what she's been working on from home. My daughter stays silent, just giving off these passive-aggressive vibes like the rest of us are dirt under her shoe. I assumed it was middle school drama. Maybe a friend said something to her, or she didn't like what her mum packed for lunch last time she visited. This isn't new behavior. By Friday, the attitude was still their same energy. I'd had enough of the silent treatment, so I pulled her aside after dinner and asked what the hell was going on. She held it in for about 2 seconds before bursting into tears and yelling that she was sick of being made fun of. I asked, made fun of by who? And then it all came out. She said that earlier in the week, she went away herself in the upstairs bathroom, and she didn't lock the door. My stepson walked in while she was still on the scale. According to her, he looked at the number and said, "It's a good thing you don't look like you weigh that much." That was the whole catalyst. She took it as a direct insult, like he called her fat and ugly in the same breath. Said it made her feel disgusting, and she hasn't been able to look him in the face since. Said that every time she sees him smile, she thinks he's laughing at her. That my wife never likes her anyway, so of course she's not going to do anything about it. I told her I'd go talk to them. I'm not one to blindly take sides, even with my own kid, because she's not always truthful when she's upset. She likes to twist things to make herself sound more innocent. I found my wife and stepson in his room. Asked if either of them remembered the bathroom thing. My wife said she'd been working in the bedroom down the hall and did hear something, but according to her, it wasn't anything cruel. She said she remembered hearing my stepson say something like, "You carry your weight well," or something along those lines. Then apparently my daughter freaked out and stormed off, yelling that he was a jerk and a creep. Stepson jumped in and said he honestly thought he was being nice. That he didn't mean to walk in, didn't think it was a big deal, and was just surprised by the number. That he thought she looked smaller, and it slipped out. He admitted he could have kept his mouth shut, but claimed it wasn't malicious. Then he tells me he's actually tired of how she's been acting. He says she's been giving him dirty looks nonstop, talking crap, and even told him yesterday that the only reason people at school hang out with him is because they're scared of him. That no one really likes him, they just pretend to. That last part made me pause. Because, yeah, my daughter's sharp-tongued when she wants to be. She said some awful stuff to me during arguments. And I've heard how she talks to other kids. When she doesn't like them, she gets surgical with her insults. I went back to her room and told her, "Look, both of you clearly said things you shouldn't have." Maybe he shouldn't have said anything about the scale. But that doesn't justify her throwing venom back at him for days. She cut me off mid-sentence and said she doesn't care, and that he should be the one apologizing, not her. That my wife had already come into her room that day and tried to force an apology out of her. I told her I wasn't going to force anyone to apologize. That kind of thing has to come naturally, and if I tried to make him do it, it wouldn't mean anything. So I said, flat out, this whole situation is spiraling over one awkward sentence, and it needs to end. Holding a grudge this long over something that wasn't even intentionally cruel is just being petty. She got louder. Said it's easy for me to say that when it's not my body being mocked. That I always take my wife's and stepson's side. That I don't care how she feels. I shut it down and said, "That's not true. I do care. But this is getting ridiculous." Then came Christmas Day. I was honestly expecting she'd mellowed out by then. Thought maybe she'd still be a bit sour, but would play nice for the sake of the day. I was wrong. We're sitting at the dinner table. My wife turns to her and says they made cookies earlier in the afternoon. Stepson chimes in that they made a lot of them. My daughter just stares at her plate. Then, out of nowhere, she starts crying again. She looks straight at my stepson and says, "Was that another joke about me being fat?" Everyone goes silent. My wife asks what she's talking about. She says it's obvious they made all those cookies just to rub it in. That she knew they were making cookies, and now they're shoving it in her face. That he's still mocking her and pretending he's not. I tried to step in and calm her down. Said it wasn't like that, but she cut me off, said I was blind. That he's been taunting her nonstop, and everyone's just letting it happen. She said she wasn't going to apologize, that she didn't do anything wrong, and she'll never forgive him until he gives her a real apology. At that point, I was done. She hijacked dinner, made everything about her again, and dragged the rest of us into her drama. I told her if she couldn't be civil, she could go to her room. She stood up, stormed off. My wife looked stunned. My stepson just sat there frozen. So we went on with dinner without her. Ate, cleaned up, and watched the movie we had planned with the lights on the tree still blinking like nothing happened. After that, we took pictures like we usually do, just the three of us. My wife had planned this whole thing. Matching sweaters, some dumb board game, and a family photo. We weren't going to cancel it because one person refused to show up. She knew the plans. She just didn't want to be part of it. I wasn't going to drag her out of her room kicking and screaming so she could glare at everyone in the background of every photo. Later that night, I went to check on her. She was getting ready for bed, not even looking at me. She said, "I can't believe you kicked me out of Christmas dinner." I told her flat out, "You made it impossible to enjoy anything. I gave you a chance to keep the peace. You chose to blow it up." She said nothing, just turned away and pulled the blanket over her head. She holds on to this victim mindset like it's a shield. Everything is a personal attack. Any suggestion, joke, or even neutral statement gets filtered through this "everyone hates me" lens, and I'm supposed to just keep playing along. I'm not going to tiptoe around every word just to avoid upsetting a girl who can't handle being uncomfortable for half a second. And no, I'm not going to punish my stepson for saying something stupid in the heat of the moment, when he clearly didn't mean it to hurt her. Could he have shut his mouth and walked away? Sure. But he's a teenage boy. They say dumb stuff. He didn't call her a whale. He didn't post her weight online. He made a clumsy, surprised comment because he didn't expect the number he saw. That's it. If I forced him to apologize now, it would be a lie. He's still pissed about what she said to him. I'm not going to teach him that being called a jerk is okay just because the other person cried louder. He didn't deserve to be told that people only pretend to like him. That's vicious. And I'm sick of the way my wife gets pulled into this every time. She didn't do anything wrong either. She wasn't making a fat joke. She mentioned cookies. That's it. But suddenly my daughter's acting like she got ambushed with a tray of desserts on purpose. Christmas was supposed to be calm. We didn't go anywhere. Didn't have guests. Kept it simple because we wanted to spend time together without drama. And my daughter blew that up because she couldn't let go of one offhand comment. I gave her every chance to cool down. I let her have space. I let her vent. I talked to everyone involved. But the grudge just kept getting bigger, and I wasn't about to let her poison the whole evening with it. Now she's mad and says I excluded her. But she excluded herself the minute she decided to make every interaction a battlefield. She wasn't banished, she was told to stop attacking people or remove herself from the situation. She chose the second one. So yeah, maybe it wasn't a textbook, peaceful parenting move. But I'm not running a therapy retreat here. I'm trying to keep a household together without letting one kid dictate the mood of every room she walks into. Ada? Comments. Comment 1. YTA. This post made me so effing angry. She's 11. An 11-year-old girl was weighing herself and got caught in one of the most vulnerable moments a kid that age can have, and instead of protecting her, you gaslit her and told her to get over it. Your stepson humiliated her. I don't care if he said it was a compliment. That's what all bullies say when they get called out. And your wife trying to force an apology from your daughter instead of getting her son to say sorry. She's trash for that. Sorry, not sorry. And then you decide her emotional reaction ruined dinner. She was crying, dude. On Christmas. You kicked your own daughter out for being hurt. You chose your new family over her. Don't be surprised when she doesn't trust you for the next 10 years. You should be ashamed. Comment 2. YTA. Not just for what you did, but for how casually you describe it all, as if your daughter's emotions are just inconveniences to be managed. You don't have to scream at your kid to hurt them. You did something far worse. You made her feel invisible. You treated her pain like a tantrum and her boundaries like obstacles to your holiday plans. She cried at the dinner table. In front of everyone. That is not attention-seeking. That is a child who feels humiliated, unheard, and completely outnumbered. And your response was to send her away like she was the problem. You didn't just fail to protect her. You sided with the people who hurt her. And now she knows, without a doubt, that when things get hard, you will not be in her corner. Fix this before the damage becomes permanent. Because once a kid stops trusting a parent, getting that back isn't guaranteed. Update. So I figured I'd post an update since a lot has happened since Christmas. My daughter ended up calling her mom the next morning. She packed a bag without asking me and told my wife she was waiting outside. She didn't even say anything to me directly. Just left. Her mom picked her up, and she hasn't come back. I texted her the next day. Nothing. Then again on New Year's. Still nothing. I called twice. Voicemail both times. I reached out to her mom to ask what was going on. She told me she was giving our daughter space, but then said she was disappointed in how things were handled, and that our daughter deserved better. I asked her what that meant. She said our daughter told her everything about the comment in the bathroom, the cookies, Christmas dinner, and me siding with my new family. She said she's not keeping her from me, but she's also not forcing her to come back right now because she's in no mental state to be there. She also mentioned that our daughter hasn't been eating much. Skipping breakfast, barely picking at lunch, claiming she's not hungry. She says that started after the whole incident. She told me I need to step up and actually parent before there's damage you can't undo. I told her this isn't all on me. She's her mother. She knows how sensitive she's always been. If she was this fragile, maybe we both needed to be more proactive. But acting like I'm the only one who's supposed to fix it is unfair. She's not some innocent bystander here. I don't live with her 24/7, and I can't control every thought in my daughter's head. She pushed that back and said, "You created the environment that broke her. You don't get to spread the blame now." Meanwhile, things at home didn't magically settle down either. I tried talking to my stepson again. Told him maybe he should think about apologizing just to clear the air. Not because I think he meant harm, but because his words clearly stuck with her. He said, "Why should I say sorry when she was the one who attacked me?" Then he brought up what she said about people at school tolerating him, and how she told him to get over himself. He said she's mean, that she's always been mean to him, and he's tired of being painted like the bully. My wife backed him up. Said my daughter is emotionally unstable, that she overreacts to everything, and that maybe it's time to stop pretending like she's just going through a phase. She said flat out, "I think she needs therapy. She acts like someone who has real mental health issues, and the longer you ignore that, the worse it's going to get." I asked her what exactly made her think that. She listed things like mood swings, holding grudges, obsessive behavior about weight and food, and how she's always playing the victim. I asked if she'd ever considered how her son's words might have made that worse. She said, "He said one clumsy thing. She's been spiraling for a week. That's not normal." She's made it clear she's not going to ask her son to apologize. She said it would teach him to lie just to appease someone's tantrum. She thinks our daughter made everything about herself, twisted a neutral moment into some public humiliation narrative, and then punished everyone when she didn't get the attention she wanted. I told her she's not exactly unbiased here. She said, "Neither are you." She also made a comment that pissed me off more than anything. If your daughter can't handle cookies being mentioned without feeling attacked, maybe the problem isn't the cookies. I'll be honest at this point. I feel like I'm stuck between three people who all think they're right and want me to take sides. My daughter won't come home and won't respond. My wife refuses to take accountability for how she handled things. My stepson acts like he's the victim now. And my ex-wife's breathing down my neck like I deliberately chose to break our kid just to play happy family. It's not like I didn't try to make peace. I gave my daughter space. I talked to both parties. I didn't immediately punish anyone because I wanted to understand what actually happened. I wasn't going to force a fake apology that wouldn't fix anything. But instead of calming down, The situation keeps getting worse. My daughter wants nothing to do with this house. My wife thinks we dodged a bullet with her being gone. My stepson's back to acting like nothing happened. And my ex is threatening to involve a lawyer if emotional negligence continues. Whatever that means. It feels like no one's really interested in fixing anything. Everyone just wants to be proven right. And somehow I'm the one getting dumped on for trying to keep things balanced. No, I haven't apologized to my daughter. I don't think I did anything that warrants an apology. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't yelling. I told her to step away from a situation she was making worse. That's it. If letting her calm down in her room during dinner was such an unforgivable offense, then maybe there are bigger issues here than I realized. I still haven't heard back from her. I told her she's welcome to come home when she's ready. I told her I'd talk to her one-on-one without anyone else in the room. She left me on read. I'm not sure where this goes from here. Everyone's standing their ground. No one wants to give an inch. And honestly, I'm tired of being blamed for everyone else's stubbornness. Comments. Comment 1. Jesus Christ, YTA. And you're exactly the kind of dad kids go no contact with. You wrote this entire update like you're the victim stuck between 3 stubborn people. But you're the one who's supposed to be the adult. You chose your wife and her son over your daughter on Christmas. And now you're shocked she doesn't want to come back. Your wife is gaslighting an 11-year-old and calling her mentally ill because it's easier than admitting her son was an arsehole. And you're parroting it. Do you even hear yourself? She's fragile. She needs therapy. No, man, she needs a parent who won't throw her under the bus to protect his new family's image. Don't be surprised when she stops answering your calls for good. You've made it crystal clear who matters to you, and it's not her. Comment 2. YTA. And what's wild is how you frame everything like a spreadsheet. You list grievances like you're balancing a budget instead of talking about a child's mental health. You don't get points for not yelling or trying to understand both sides, when one side is a 13-year-old boy who body shamed an 11-year-old girl, and the other side is the girl you're supposed to protect. You're treating this like 2 coworkers fighting in a break room instead of a kid being humiliated and then steamrollered by her dad, stepbrother, and stepmom. And now you're blaming your ex for not parenting hard enough, while your wife's out here calling your kid mentally ill for being hurt. This isn't keeping the peace. This is failing to protect your daughter. She's not overreacting. You're underreacting. Comment 3. Boo-hoo, poor me, stuck between 3 stubborn people. Give me a effing break. You're not stuck. You're just a coward who picked the easy route, siding with the louder adults and blaming the 11-year-old. Your stepson learnt real quick that dad won't punish him and stepmom will back him up. So he gets to say whatever he wants, then play the victim when called out. Your wife's solution: call your kid crazy. And you? You sit there wringing your hands about balance like a spineless referee. Guess what? Your kid's gone. She's not coming back because she figured out dad doesn't have her back. She's not fragile. She's abandoned. You're the adult. Start acting like one, or you're going to be one of those sad posts in 5 years, asking why your daughter won't talk to you. Update. I posted about kicking my 11-year-old daughter out of Christmas dinner after accusing my stepson of fat shaming her. At the time I thought she was overreacting, and I painted myself as stuck between 2 kids. Reading the replies and living through the last few weeks has forced me to look at things differently. This isn't going to be a defense of myself. This is an admission that I've been a terrible father to her. She still hasn't come back. It's been over 3 weeks. She's with her mum full-time now. I got one message from her. It wasn't long. She wrote, "You always pick them. You don't listen to me. I don't feel safe there. Please stop texting me. When I'm ready, I'll reach out." That's all it said. She's 11, and she wrote it like a final boundary. That broke something in me. Her mum called me a few days after. She said the school counselor reached out to her because our daughter mentioned she'd been weighing herself constantly, skipping meals, and feeling gross about her body. The counselor recommended therapy. Her mum already arranged it. She told me bluntly, "I don't want you at the sessions until she says it's okay." Then she told me something I wasn't ready to hear. This isn't just about the one comment. This is about a pattern. She feels like she's second place in your home. For the first time, I couldn't argue. I sat there with the phone to my ear and realized she was right. At the same time, things at home started cracking. My stepson got into trouble at school last week. Another kid reported him for bullying. He got a warning and had to meet with the school counselor. When I brought this up to my wife, thinking maybe she'd finally see the connection, she doubled down. Said boys his age joke around, that people are too sensitive now, and that it was ridiculous to compare what happened at school to that silly bathroom thing at home. That was the moment I realized she will always defend her son, no matter what. She's not neutral. She's not trying to help. She's protecting him, even when he's clearly wrong. A few nights ago, she and I argued about therapy. She said we, meaning her, me, and her son should go to family therapy to learn how to handle my daughter when she comes back. I said my daughter should be included if we're doing therapy. She said, "Why? She's not here. She's at her mom's. This is about us." It wasn't a slip. It was the truth leaking out. She doesn't see my daughter as part of this family. Then she said something even colder. I didn't sign up to raise another woman's kid. My priority will always be my son. I'm not going to sacrifice his stability to coddle her feelings. Hearing that gutted me. Because it's exactly what my daughter's been trying to tell me. That she's not safe here. That she's not wanted here. That I've been siding with people who never had any intention of treating her like family. I used to tell myself I was being fair by not taking sides. But I wasn't. I was taking my wife's side by default. I was teaching my daughter that if she wanted my protection, she had to be perfectly calm, perfectly polite, and never angry. That if she cried or lashed out after being hurt, I'd punish her instead of standing up for her. And now I've lost her. I tried calling again. Left a voicemail telling her I'm sorry. Not a half apology. A real one. Told her I believe her. Told her she didn't deserve what happened, and that I should have had her back. No response yet. I also called the therapist her mom set up. They can't tell me details because of confidentiality, but they confirmed she's going regularly. They said if she wants me involved, she'll say so. My stepson doesn't talk about her at all. He's acting like she never existed. My wife only brings her up to complain about the drama or to suggest we move on. I can barely look at either of them without feeling sick. The house feels like a museum of my failures. Every room reminds me of a moment I dismissed her. The couch where she sat silent while I tried to include her. The hallway where she stormed off after I told her to let it go. The chair at the table that's been empty since Christmas. I don't know if she'll ever forgive me. I don't know if she'll ever come back. And I don't know if my marriage will survive if she does. Because now I see my wife for who she is. A woman who will always choose her son first and frame mine as unstable, rather than admit he's been cruel. I'm not writing this for sympathy. I'm writing it because the last time I posted, I painted myself like a man caught in the middle. That was a lie. I wasn't caught in the middle. I was holding the door open for my wife and her son while closing it on my own daughter. I don't know the next step. All I know is that the first step is owning what I've done and telling my daughter the truth. That I failed her. That I should have protected her. That I won't let it happen again if she gives me another chance. If you're reading this and you're a parent, don't do what I did. Don't confuse being fair with being neutral. Neutrality is a choice, and in a blended family, it often means siding with the stronger party. Kids see through it. They know when they're not protected. I've learned that too late. But I'm still going to try to make it right. Second story. Friends I thought had left me, and the enemy I thought protected me from getting sawed by risking her own life and helping me recover. I haven't thanked her yet, and I don't know how to do it without sounding fake. I live in a mid-sized town where everyone knows everyone. I'm going to college about half an hour away, but I still hang around town most days because I have friends there and I live at home still. This one girl, Mary, decided to stick around too. I don't get along with Mary at all. We would fight all the time. I felt she was too standoffish and rude. She felt I was a complete phony and immoral. Mary was a lot more public with her feelings, whereas I tried to hide things to keep in everyone's good graces, which ended up just letting things get bottled up. We'd always clash over things in class. I'd get upset about how open she was about something I thought shouldn't be talked about. She'd be upset with me for saying I didn't agree, and we'd just fight. Anyways, we got kind of nasty in high school and have never truly been friendly with one another. It's just really stupid, and it's always been best for us to keep away from each other. I know I was awful, but I know she was just as bad. We did equally stupid and awful things, but anyways. On Saturday night, Mary threw a party at her place, and our mutual friends told me to come. They didn't tell me it was Mary's party until we pulled up, and I could see it was clearly Mary's house. I stayed anyway and saw really little of her. I had some drinks, hung out, and then I started to feel really weird. Like, I just got really dizzy, and I started to feel so exhausted, like I couldn't stand up. This guy I went to high school with asked if I was okay. I said I wasn't. and he took me to Mary's room. I passed out at some point, and I swear I don't remember anything else. All I remember is when I first woke up, I felt really sick, and Mary was right next to me. I was tucked into her bed, and my hair was braided. I started to throw up, and Mary just got my hair out of my face, rubbed my back, and put me back in bed. I didn't want to argue because I felt like I knew exactly what happened, and I didn't want to seem ungrateful for her taking care of me. I fell asleep for a little while, and I kept waking up to throw up and be given water by Mary. She was the nicest I've ever seen her. She didn't say a word, just pulled my hair out of my face and passed me a glass of water. I was too tired to even hold the cup, so she'd do it for me. In the middle of the day on Sunday, Mary drove me home in complete silence, and I didn't even know what to say, so I just thanked her and went back to my house. My parents took me to the hospital and police station, and I'm just trying to recover at home as best I can. I still haven't said anything else to Mary, and I feel like the worst person alive. One of my friends came to see me today and told me that Mary had seen the guy that had taken me to her room and basically tore him off of me because he was trying to do some creepy SHT. She's this tiny little 5-foot-tall girl that could get blown away if you blew hard enough in her direction. And she hit, bit, kicked, scratched, and did anything she could to get this skyscraper former QB off me. She did that all for me, and all I could say was, thanks. I don't know what to do. How do I repay her without coming off as fake or obligated? What do I say to her? How do I express the gratitude I feel in a way that doesn't feel like appeasement? This is just so weird to me. I used to feel this bone-deep rage whenever her name was just mentioned, and now all I want to do is cry and hug her. I feel so weird, like I owe it to her to be her friend. I don't know. I'm so confused. Advice is welcome from all angles, please. TLDR. My enemy defended me from being abused and cared for me after being drugged. Comments. Comment 1. You have learned an important lesson. Just because you do not like someone, that does not mean they are a bad person. It can just mean your personalities clash. You do not owe it to her to be her friend, but you can now understand that she is a person with some seriously positive and strong values. It seems she acted stronger and more completely than the friends that brought you to that party. It is a good idea to communicate your gratitude in a more complete form now that the dust has settled. But you should also offer your respect. It was earned here. Comment 2. In your shoes, I'd drive myself to her house, give her a hug, and tell her thank you. Explain that you heard everything she did, and you're extremely grateful. You don't have to be her friend, and it's not like her acting great now wipes your history clean. But I do think it's worth saying thanks in person. She did a stand-up job, and even if you don't become friends, I think you'll always have a better view of her. I have people I'm not close friends with, but I know would always have my back if I needed them and vice versa. Mary could be one of those people, and it's worth letting them know you appreciate their efforts. Edit. A huge thank you to everyone replying to this. It's really helpful. Mary's and my relationship has been a lot more complicated and rough than I felt comfortable articulating, so this is a lot more difficult than it seems to be. But this advice was really helpful. I got Mary's number from a friend and texted her asking if I could take her out for lunch or something. She offered, instead, to bring me lunch, so she'll be over in a little bit, and I'm hoping to thank her for everything. OP updated same day/same post. Minor update, so Mary just left my place. She brought me the most incredible soup, but it was just awkward to hang out together for the first time literally ever. I kept trying to tell her how thankful I was, but she shut me down and kept asking me not to. I stopped, and we just sat together in silence for a while. Mary told me that the same guy from her party had done the same to her in our junior year of high school. Nobody had been there to stop him back then, and she became a victim because of it. She told me that she's always wanted revenge, and she didn't do it for me. She did it for herself. All she wanted to do was feel like she had won over him, and she didn't even care that it was me. She just needed it to be somebody. Mary hadn't even known he was there, but she saw him, and she had her eye on him all night. I was so stunned I didn't know what to say, so all I could say was that I was sorry, and I hoped things were better, and I was so thankful. And Mary just left. I don't even know what to do. I'm just floating. Comments. Comment 1. I have read your updates, and I wish to offer you my sympathies for the outrage that occurred to the both of you. Mary is certainly a person worthy of respect and admiration. Seek counseling for what you have been through. You two are bound through a shared experience. Others cannot truly understand. May peace and love be with you always. Comment 2. You don't need to be friends. Don't hold on to high school grudges either. The reason you dislike each other seems to be just a personality clash. And, if I may be frank, you policing her behavior from the impression I got. I mean, why would you even feel like arguing when she was helping you without saying a word? But that doesn't matter now. Reading your edit, her response seems to be still a bit distant, so she may not want to be friends either. True, it could be for revenge, but she still held your hair and helped you drink afterwards. She did more than a decent person would do. She could have left it at kicking the guy out and not taking care of you, leaving you to help yourself. True, I think it could have been anyone, but the act tells us it is more than revenge. She may do it to heal and save her past self, but she is channeling that by helping others. Despite her true intentions, she did a good thing and is a good person. Anyway, she has already given you her thanks verbally. Why not thank her by asking her to get her true revenge together by taking it to the police? You went to the hospital, so you surely had a drug test. You have witnesses and proof. Ask her to help you and help herself get further revenge. Then you can go your separate ways, putting your past differences behind. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.